Porn is weird. The market share of people who watch porn is pretty much equivalent to the market share of people who watch movies. Yet to talk about porn in society is a big no-no. Even among people who do talk about porn in like generalized terms, there are never like specific recommendations. When that happens, that is a strange situation to be in. Like, you're not sitting there watching sissy humiliation hypnosis jerk-off instruction and going, oh yes, I do rather believe that my mate Ollie would very much like this. Let me take out my notepad so I can write down the title of this porno film and send it to him via Telegram. That's not really a situation I've ever found myself in. We do all know that guy, though. The one that sends us just really fucked up porn, usually through like a WhatsApp group that he has with other people like him, because they all know each other. And then you show that to someone else on your phone to like look at how fucked up it is. And the second that their facial expression even remotely morphs into what the fuck, you go, oh yeah, Pete sent me this. And immediately they know what you're talking about. That's not the stuff Pete is getting off to. Pete wouldn't send you the stuff he's getting off to. The technology marches on, and the most fucked up videos that you can imagine will soon be as ubiquitous as the vanilla ones. At least, you know, potentially. It is an unspoken truth that porn drives a lot of innovation when it comes to video technology. Years ago already, we had nerds superimposing the faces of Hollywood actresses onto porn actresses. Hollywood itself is only now getting around to using deepfakes. And that whole sector of computer technology is racing faster and faster forward. Like, even from someone who uses that kind of technology for artistic purposes, to see that how like 4 years ago we could do basic image style transfer, and now we can simulate entire 3D environments, not perfectly, but with like quite good physics from simple still images. That is a crazy amount of progress in 4 years. Super sampling of images and video is a field that's having a lot of great breakthroughs right now. So all that grainy old amateur porn that left most stuff up to the imagination, in like a year or two, you'll have that supersized to Ultra HD mega crisp quality. Of course, the thing that the super sampling then shows you that you couldn't see before will not actually be the ground truth of the situation. I made a whole video about how that isn't actually possible, but for the purposes that we use porn for, that's not really that much of a problem. But all that got me thinking, right? At this very moment, you could go to Artbreeder and have it generate all manner of particular images for you. I really like to use it for faces. I use them a lot in my role-playing games and or to, you know, visualize characters in the books that I write. We're also making advances in the field of just straight up describing an image with words and then the computer draws it for you. I give it maybe 5 years before we have the technology to just basically automate pornography that way. Here's what I mean, right? You assemble the porn actors that you want in your video, you tell that to the program, you tell it what kind of scenes it's supposed to do in what sequence and what length, hit the render button, and then after a few minutes, you have that porno. It's like the replicator from Star Trek, but it's not for food, but for porn. You tell it what you want, and it will make that for you. Before long, you will have systems working together to such a degree of sophistication that you will be able to pick the precise hex color, shade, and texture of the wallpaper of the room that they are doing it in. And yes, this also means that you'll end up being able to sort of build your own porn actors and actresses and put them in that porn, and I predict that there is going to be some very unethical shit happening because of that. There's going to be a big public debate on how ethical it is exactly to put real people in your personalized custom porn that maybe no other person will ever see, but that's still a real human being. There's also going to be the much more uncomfortable public debate on how ethical it is to create child porn that way when no children were involved in the process of making it. Just the idea of that makes me very uncomfortable, and I always considered that this was something that would be decades in the future, but realizing now that we're gonna have that talk in the 2020s, This is going to happen for animated porn first because obviously it's a lot simpler to visually process, but eventually you're gonna get there for all kinds of porn. Because when porn does have a storyline, it's usually not a very good one, and also no one gives a shit. All we really want to see is the fucking, and there is so much source material of that in existence that in a couple years you'll just be able to throw up an easy GAN that generates customized pornography. Yes, this basically means that traditional porn will be automated away. Imagine that, right? The people who currently work in porn will be the last of their profession. In 2030, there isn't going to be OnlyFans subscriptions anymore. Neither the average college-aged girl nor the super juiced up, jacked up man hunk with muscles bigger than my head will be able to sell their custom nudie pics on the internet anymore because the market will just be so oversaturated with computer-generated stuff that fits the exact criteria that people want. I mean, the best of the best will still remain to create high-quality artisan pornography, as is the case with pretty much all industries that have disappeared. I mean, there is still a handful of people who make a living out of being a blacksmith. But that is a reality that we need to strap in for, because it's coming. And it's coming fast. Thank you very much for watching this short video. Like, comment, subscribe, share this to your relevant communities, but do not spam them. Consider supporting me on Patreon or Subscribestar, buying some of my merchandise or my short story collection. And in that spirit, Spooktober was over a bit quick, I think. But, you know, nevertheless, happy Halloween. And see you around, cunts.